Hello and welcome to my Yu-Gi-Oh channel. So today we're looking at some brand new Sunavalon for the Yu-Gi-Oh Reign series, and these are just additions to what's already been covered, and I'll link that down below if you want to see that. So the first card is Sunavalon Merlinius. It's a Link 3 Earth Attribute Plant Type Link Effect Monster with 0 attack, and its links are the left, the top, and the right. The materials are 2 or more plant-type monsters, including a link monster. 1. If this card is link summoned, you can special summon 1 Sunseed Genius Loki from your graveyard. 2. It cannot be targeted for attacks, but does not prevent your opponent from attacking you directly. And 3. Once per turn, you can target 1 of your Sunvine link monsters. This card points to this turn it can attack a number of times up to the number of Sunavalon link monsters you control. Okay, so let's have a breakdown of this effect. The first part to go into the Sunseed Genius Loki, that's a standard effect. It's their normal monster. By going into that, then you can go into a Link 4 or to link into other Link monsters. That's just how the archetype works. The second effect is intrinsic to most of the Sunavalon monsters as well. It's similar to something like the Earthbound Immortals, that you can't actually attack them, but does not stop you from attacking directly. It's fine because actually what it does is it makes your opponent's monster not a threat unless they're able to negate this effect, in which case this is a bit of a sitting target with 0 attack, obviously. And the third part is actually the crucial part of the effect. There is one of the Sunvine link monsters. It can have up to 4,000 attack points. Having it attack multiple times as well means you could be rolling through lots of damage. You can OTK within a turn. You can just outright surprise your opponent. And the good thing about this is it's not limited to attacks on monsters. Monsters like Ultimate Tyranno and various other incarnations of similar effects often require all attacks to just be made on monsters. This has that effect where you can bypass that. If they've got monsters on the field, you can deal with those. After that, you can attack directly if that's what you're aiming for. The next card is Sunavalon Daphne. It's a Link 2 Earth Attribute Plant Type Link Effect Monster. Again, it has 0 attack, and its link points are the left and the right. It requires 2 plant type monsters to summon. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. 1. It cannot be targeted for attacks, but does not prevent your opponent from attacking you directly. And 2. You contribute 1 monster, then target 2 plant link monsters in your graveyard except Sunavalon Daphne. Return them to the extra deck. This card is necessary for how the deck needs to run, because generally what you're doing is you're linking through some of your lower linking monsters, so your 1s and 2s, to go into your 3s and 4s. That means you're going to be running very specific cards in the extra deck, and with that limitation on 15, needing to recover those cards is part of the downside. You can't really run many additional extra deck monsters outside of their archetype because they might clash or they might be more difficult to recover. This is an inbuilt recovery system for it, and because you just have to tribute a monster, it's not a case of tributing itself. That means you're constantly being able to recycle these monsters without having to run things like Pot of Avarice or anything that could be a dead draw. Alternatively, this can be a bit of a weakness because though it cannot be targeted for attacks, there are easy ways of shutting this card down with 0 attack. It is very easy monster effect negation bait, and then just being able to run over it. And of course we have the final card. This is Sunavalon Crossbreed. It's a continuous spell card, and the effect is you can only activate the first effect of this card's name once per turn. You contribute 1 link monster, then target 1 plant monster in your graveyard except the attributed monster. Special summon it, but its effects are negated. So this can work a little bit in conjunction with the previous Sunavalon Daphne, because they link very well together. You can just constantly recycle through some of your monsters depending on what you need. Of course, some of these link monsters are very generic and actually can be beaten very easily. So maybe you just want to get a plant type monster. If you're running some of the other support that isn't archetype specific but is plant based, then you're okay. The one issue I would say with this card is, it does shut down your monster's effects. So you're bringing back essentially a normal monster.